Hello guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's review, we're going to be reviewing Aliens, which is the second Alien movie by James Cameron, leading up to Alien Romulus, which is about to be released on August 14 in my country, so expect an Alien Romulus review in next Wednesday, if things if the schedule wasn't messed up, but yeah, Aliens is essentially regarded as one of the best sci-fi action movie now, and it is a pretty interesting way to see a sequel, I guess, because like from the first movie and to the second movie, it's actually a different. It has like a different genre entirely in a way, because the first one is much more horror, right, and this one is much more action, But the tense is still there, the suspense is still there in the movies, which is a good thing. And yeah, for obviously James Cameron is the one of the best director ever, and I think seeing his work here is absolutely amazing because I think this is like his second or I guess like the third director directing, I guess, because like the first, I guess the true first James Cameron movie is The Terminator, right? But he also directed Piranha 2, I think, The Spawning, which is okay, I guess. That's It's actually pretty interesting to learn the behind the scenes stuff with James Cameron, that apparently the crew doesn't even like James Cameron, that they think that James Cameron was inexperienced, and there is even a moment where James Cameron tried to set up the crew to watch The Terminator, and none of the crew show up. They don't even bother. They don't even bother to show up. Which is like, oh damn, okay. But it turns out, yeah, this becomes one of the best sci-fi action movie. Alien and Aliens is one of the best sci-fi movie ever, and you can definitely see the influence around or I guess throughout the genre itself. So Aliens took place 57 years after the event of like the first Alien, which I think I guess it's pretty interesting that it took place 57 years later, because in the first movie it was revealed that if they escape using this escape pod or like escape craft, you could say, the spacecraft. And as this movie shows, it was actually by chance because it was 57 years later. But Ripley finally get rescued, and then she was brought back to Earth, and she was debriefed by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which is honestly consists with a bunch of dickheads, that doesn't necessarily give a shit about anybody's life, Like same thing with the first movie, No one cares about the crew of the Nostromo unless they get the alien is like, or the xenomorphs are like their number one priority, and this is where also we met new character named Carter J. Burke, or I guess just Burke, played by Paul Reiser, and this character might be I guess back in the day might be a bit comical, but at the same time it's also like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense the way the way they portray Burke's character. He's like a corporate representative, in a way, and he always going to try to protect the company's interest in a way, and at the beginning he seems like a nice guy to Ripley, but obviously in the end he just like manipulating Ripley to go back to LV-426, which Ripley found out that there is a bunch of colony that live there, and now the planet are breathable, because they invented this machine or something like that was able to breathe air this time around, and it took like years for them to work, so now there is people on LV-426, and at first, Ripley was invited to go back to the LV-426 planet, because on one day, one of the crew from LV-426 encountered the relic spaceship, or like I guess the Prometheus spaceship in a way, and then one of them got face hugger, and then obviously shit goes down there, and they lost signal. So Burke told Ripley that, hey, I need your help because we need your supervising, for the creature that Ripley has been telling the company, because no one believed that the alien existed until this point where it's like, okay, like something definitely is happening on LV-426, so we need your help. Ripley refused at first, but it was revealed that she has this huge PTSD with the alien and then the event of the first movie, and she had nightmares, right? So she decided to confront her fear in a way by going back to LV-426, and by going back to LV-426 and try her best to, I guess, help the situation, and this is where we met a bunch of new characters, and I guess one of them I'm just gonna introduce them immediately, which is Corporal Hicks, or Dwayne Hicks, played by Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn previously worked with James Cameron before as Kyle Reese in the Terminator, which is I think Michael Biehn might be an underrated actor in a way, because like every single time I see him in like a James Cameron movie, he always good, like he's always like charming, so he's like one of the main characters. We also got Bishop, played by Lance Henriksen, which is an android that basically work as a, I guess, as a twist, because like when I first watched this movie, I thought that Bishop is gonna be the bad guy again, just like Ash from the first movie. But like no, Bishop is actually the good guy, which I think is a really cool twist in my opinion. That yeah, some people might see that coming, but for me, I was kind of like half expecting him to be the bad guy, and turns out that oh no, he's not the bad guy. He's actually just trying to help the crew the best as he can, So I think that's a really cool way for Ripley also letting go her trauma in the past, with androids or like synthetics, right? So yeah, that's really, really cool. I think Lance Henriksen is amazing as Bishop, and we got Bill Paxton, the late Bill Paxton, play Hudson, which is like really boastful but panicky, like colonial marine essentially, I love his character because again, he's like loud and really noisy, but at the same time, he knows what he was doing and try his best to finish the job and protecting his friends, So I like Hudson, and I think the way Bill Paxton play his character are really amazing, Especially he has some of the crazy, funny line throughout the movie, which I absolutely love, And after that, we got several characters like Gorman, played by William Hope, and then Varkes, I think, which is like also like a colonial marine private member of the military essentially. There is a bunch of this military in the cast member, which I'm not gonna mention all of them, because I'm gonna mention the one that matters to the story, but eventually after this they reached LV-426. They tried to search the station, but it was empty, but they found out that the station, or I guess like the researcher on the station, actually has several face hugger, inside like a jar or something like that they're studying, and try to maybe weaponize them, I guess, that's what I'm assuming that's why the Weyland Yutani company really want the alien, maybe they try to weaponize them, that's my assumption. But after this, they found out there's a large life form in I guess the station reactor, I guess. So they kind of exactly used their guns because like, it was a nuclear station, and this is where we get to see our first big action sequence. There's a bunch of xenomorphs. I guess the warrior xenomorphs, because like the head of the xenomorphs was a bit different compared to the xenomorphs in the first movie. I think the first one, the alien in the first movie is actually a worker xenomorph, I think, and then this one that we see throughout the second movie is actually a warrior xenomorphs. At least that's what I read on the wiki. I might be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But we get to see our big action sequences. A lot of people die because like the alien was able to conceal itself like the into the wall essentially, because they built this giant mess. We see a chest burster again, and yeah, a lot of people die, and Ripley decided to take over the command from Gorman because Gorman is a coward, or I guess inexperienced, you could say that, and she drives this badass military truck, which I absolutely love, because everything in this movie are practical in a way, so I think, yeah, it's really charming, it's really holds up to this day, it's great, so Ripley eventually rescuing all these military member, and it's just them, it's just like all they're left, so they try to call like a ship to get away from the planet, and also they find this girl named Newt, from the station, which is like the sole survivor of the LV-426, played by Carrie Hann, which I think this is the only role that she plays, I think she becomes like a teacher afterwards, so that's really cool, but yeah, they decide to get away from the planet, but the xenomorphs already enter the ships, so the ships crash, so they have no way to get back to outer space, get back to their mothership in a way, so they decide to bunker down, try to build some defense, and then we get some cool character moments here and there, but I feel like especially the character moment between Ripley and Newt, because in the beginning of the movie, we do find out that Ripley lost her daughter, you know, named Amanda Ripley, right? And we do see Amanda Ripley as the main character from Alien Isolation, which is like a great Alien game. Hopefully, there is a sequel to that, you know. And I think there is also I don't exactly know if Amanda Ripley actually died or the Weyland-Yutani are faking her death, you know, because this one I heard that apparently Amanda Ripley was still alive somewhere, but you know, and Weyland-Yutani are just lying to Ellen Ripley, which is like, okay, I mean, I can found that to be believable, you know, because Weyland-Yutani are a shitty company, and obviously they're not afraid to faking some news to Ripley, I guess. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to Amanda Ripley, you know, maybe she's still alive somewhere out there. So I don't know. If anyone know what happened to Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley, then please let me know in the comment section below, because I heard that she might be still alive somewhere out there, you know, so who knows. But yeah, so that's like the bulk of the movie, essentially, where Ripley and Newt becoming like a mother and daughter figure, you know, and essentially that's like the theme for the Alien franchise, you know, like there's a mother and there's a daughter, you know, so that's really cool, especially the way they wrote the scene between the two of them. I think it's really, really cool, you know. Hicks and Ripley also have some moments together, you know, which I think they might be getting together in the future, you know, if it wasn't for Alien 3, you know. But yeah, it was a pretty cool moment between several of the characters, you know. But after Ripley and Newt decided to sleep on like a room, I think, or like the researcher's room, she found out that the room was locked by someone, and there is like two facehugger inside the room with them. Like Ripley tries to alert the team by actually turning on the fire alarm, essentially, you know. So the team managed to get into the room in the nick of time, you know, and save Ripley and Newt from the two facehuggers. And Ripley reveals that Burke is the one that did this because Burke is working for the company, and Burke is pretty much the only one that doesn't want this facility to be destroyed. Which brings me to one of the funny lines in the movie where it's like, when they got overwhelmed by the xenomorphs, Ripley was like, okay, we're just gonna go to space and we're gonna nuke this facility from outer space, you know. And then Hudson was like, fucking A, you know, like I absolutely love that, you know, that even Corporal Hicks agreed with Ripley, like, hey, yeah, let's just blow up this station because that's the only way to be sure. But Burke was the only one who was like, no, like we're not going to destroy this facility because this facility are expensive. Because this facility are expensive, you know, and also again he wants to bring back the xenomorphs to the company, you know, assumably and presumably using them as a bioweapon again, who knows, right? But yeah, they decide to they decide to kill Burke essentially because Ripley was like, okay, this guy's responsible and they might betray you guys as well, so everyone agreed that okay, let's just kill him. You know, we're just gonna execute Burke. You know, and I also love how Ripley line here to Burke, you know, where he said, you know, Burke, I don't know which species is worse. You don't see them fucking each other over the goddamn percentage. You know, it's like, damn, okay, that's a good point. Like, the xenomorphs are working together. They don't fuck each other up. And then here we are, the human, are just like fucking each other up because Bert wants the percentage. He wants to be raised, maybe, you know, and then try to save the company's, you know, name. You can say that, you know, and then try to give this alien as a bioweapon, presumably, right? So it's like, yeah, that's a good line right there, you know. But before they executed Bert, the xenomorphs arrive, you know, and then eventually you find out that they're actually in the roof. So we get another action sequence here, you know. But sadly, after a lot of like badass moment with the characters, you know, Ripley finally able to use the guns to kill the xenomorphs, you know. That's also like really, really cool because like they're not on a spaceship this time around, so they could just kill the xenomorphs as you know, as they like, you know, even though their blood is still acid, so it's still dangerous, you know. So you can't get too close to the xenomorphs, you know. But yeah, they basically kill a lot of the xenomorphs, you know, and then we also have some cool moment with Hudson, you know, where he went berserk and tried to kill as many as xenomorphs as possible, you know, but sadly he was taken away by xenomorphs, you know, so it's pretty sad to see him go like that, you know. But yeah, I think it makes Bill Paxton is the only actor that was killed by the Terminator, an alien, and a Predator, which is really, really cool, you know. Even though that I don't think he died in the Terminator, but still, I'm gonna count that. Why not, right? Keeping the tradition here by a lot of people. So yeah, Bill Paxton is really cool in this movie. You know, it's really entertaining. You know, so it's sad to see him go like that. You know, but you know what? Okay, the Bark are shutting the door from them, you know, because again he's an asshole, right? And then he gets the comeuppance, you know, because there is a xenomorphs that kills him eventually, you know. But after that, the crew decided to went to a van, you know, where Newt decided to lead the crew to like the spaceship, I guess you could say that, because Bishop was actually away at this moment, trying to fix some communication so they can contact the ship, so they can have some extraction essentially, and as they are leading this team through this van, Varkes was actually injured by an alien, and Gorman decided to stay behind with Farkas, and they have this badass moment that, okay, Gorman has a redemption moment essentially where he has some balls to basically use a grenade alongside Vasquez, so they can kill several of the xenomorphs and letting all the other characters escape, But sadly, Newt was sliding down a vent, and then she ending up in the lower level of the facility as Ripley and Hicks are trying to get her out of there. There is a xenomorph appear behind her, which I think is a really, really cool shot, and Newt was taken away. And at this moment, the spaceship arrived, with Bishop, and then Ripley decided to go after Newt, and I think this is a really cool story arc for Ripley, because again, Ripley in this movie is not necessarily, I guess she's just a badass, don't get me wrong, but she's not exactly a military guy, she doesn't necessarily know how to use gun properly, even though that the Hicks does teach her how to use a gun. So like, I guess there is some knowledge on how to use a gun, but again, she's not exactly a marksman, but she decided to put the gun on, and decided to put the flamethrower on to go after Newt, to save his, I guess, her quote-unquote daughter at this point, so it's like, yeah, this is a really cool arc, like she's willing to risk her life in order to save Newt, but eventually she finds Newt in this big nest, and then we get to see an alien queen for the first time. And it was such an amazing reveal because I think the alien queen was designed by Stan Winston, which is the late and great Stan Winston. They're basically responsible for a lot of things. He also responsible for Predator. He is responsible for the Terminator, and he is also responsible for the dinosaur on Jurassic Park. So great Stan Winston, man. It's sad to see him go, but yeah, the legacy that he left behind is also really, really amazing. So great job, Stan Winston, for designing the alien queen in this movie. It looks practical, which I think there's like two guys that was inside the alien queen, so that's really, really cool. So Ripley decided to burn down all the alien eggs, and try to burn down, or I guess kill several of the xenomorphs, and then they managed to escape, and Ripley and Newt managed to get away, with Bishop and Hicks, and they returned to their the mothership, you could say that, but on the mothership, it was revealed that the alien queen actually is still alive and actually managed to attach herself into this spaceship. They managed to take them away from LV-426, because the facility are exploding down there, so presumably killing all the xenomorphs there. But the alien queen managed to survive that, so we get to see another additional action sequence with them, and in this moment, sadly, Bishop got stabbed by the alien tail, so he is like broken in half, but thankfully he's still alive. Ripley decided to lure away the alien from Newt, but eventually the aliens still find Newt anyway. And after this, Ripley decided to use this like mechanical suit in a way, and then we get our iconic line from this movie where Ripley said, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like I absolutely love that line. And there's some, I guess they have some fight scene together with the alien queen, and Ripley manages to open the hatch door to the outer space and try to flush the queen out, like she manages to do that. And after that, they decide to go back to hypersleep, alongside with Bishop, because Bishop survived, and also Hicks, and they return to Earth, and that's how the movie ends. And I think throughout this entire storyline and throughout this entire characters, I think all the characters are amazing. They're really memorable, and then all the performances are great, the actions are well directed, the practical effects of the xenomorphs are amazing, like James Cameron and Stan Winston are amazing, for designing this. I guess for Stan Winston, it's amazing for designing this alien queen, and then it's like, yeah, it's so amazing, man. This movie is just still holds up really, really well, and I feel like it's just a movie that I could watch over and over again, and I still not get bored of it because I love the characters, I love the action, I love I guess the kill as well. I kind of love them in a way, so that's really cool. And also the music by James Horner is also really, really amazing. Which again, rest in peace, James Horner. And yeah, it's all great all around, guys. Again, another 10 out of 10. It's really amazing, and I think I might prefer this movie than the first one, because I remember after watching this movie, I rewatched this movie a lot more than the first one, you know. But at the same time, this is not me insulting the first Alien movie. I still think the first Alien movie is still a masterpiece. It's still a 10 out of 10, you know. Same thing with this movie, you know, because I think these two are just as good, even though that it has a different genre, you know, which I think that's really, really cool that it's not just the same movie, you know. And I think even Ridley Scott said himself that it's not exactly what he was expecting from the Alien sequel, but he absolutely loved it, you know, what James Cameron did with the movie itself, you know. So that's really, really cool, you know. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much my review for Aliens, guys. You know, it's a really cool sequel, you know. So stay tuned for the Alien Romulus review, you know, because Alien Romulus took place between Alien One and Aliens, you know. So I'm really curious to see if there's gonna be maybe some Easter egg to the second movie in a way. That would be really cool in Alien Romulus, you know. But I guess we'll see about that, you know. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below, guys. You know, what do you guys think about Aliens? You know, do you guys love this movie? You know, what is your favorite part about this movie, and what is your favorite character in this movie? I think I have to choose Hudson as my favorite character, you know. Bill Paxton is amazing in my opinion, you know. Even though everybody's amazing, don't get me wrong, you know, but I feel like Bill Paxton really stood out to me, you know, at least for me. And which one do you guys prefer? You know, do you guys prefer the first Alien movie, which is a horror movie, or do you guys prefer Alien 2, which is a sci-fi action movie? You know, like which one is your favorite? The first Alien movie or the second Alien movie? You know, let me know in the comment section below. You know, which one is better in your opinion? You know, and stay tuned for the Alien Romulus review. I guess next Wednesday, you know. And again, if you guys enjoyed this movie review, then make sure you guys, you know, shoot and slap the subscribe and like button, guys. You know, share the videos, the usual stuff, you know. And again, stay tuned for more reviews in the future. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.